Thursday update. We have my team update. We'll go through the first game of the week as well. So I mentioned in the trades video yesterday, thank you so much for the 5,000 of you that have jumped in and checked that one out. And let me know if you watched it twice. That random question of the day. Love to see that in the comments. Now, Riley Smith, Isaiah Iongi, and Kitioni Katonga. Really, really good games from those guys. And looking forward, the question's going to be, how can these guys perform on a week-to-week basis? And just looking at the fixtures coming up, they do have the Knights next week, which I think will be a pretty solid enough outing for them. There'll probably be some missed tackles and the like, but Knights haven't been winning games. They're allowing teams to have a decent amount of possession, so that can help a few of these guys. Katonga with just dropping off dimes to Yongi and Isaiah there might be able to continue doing okay. It does to me feel like it's going to be very much a week-to-week random scoring with these guys. Riley Smith's gone back-to-back really good weeks, and it's been expected with the amount of work that he's been putting in on the defensive end. Back-to-back mid-50s tackles and missing 6 and 5. It's not too bad. And with that headgear, he reminds me of Reed Marnie there, and his passes out of dummy half are really, really good, and it's exactly what Moses needs and what Brown needs is that early ball out in front. It's a strong pass as well, and having that from dummy half is so important. When you can get the ball out in front and get Moses on the outside defenders, that can be helpful for the side. But you saw there that they're still not going, definitely not well enough. They weren't able to win that game, but shout out to the Dolphins for their resilience and their completion rate. They buried them into the ground without making errors there, so that was impressive. Now, with the looping, now that Horsburgh's out following that trades video, I do currently have 5 players unavailable. And now look, I was thinking of making the 3 trades this week. I don't really want to be playing Brimson, so now I don't have to. Now that I can take Katonga's score, I was talking about I might have to bring in another centre or wing fullback. And now that Kitioni has done well, pretty well have to keep Stafford Turra in the side, unless I do want to keep, play Brimson, or I want to trade in a centre or a wing fullback. With Horsburgh, I am really thinking about Joe Tarpanay. I think that makes it, he should be able to continue playing the decent minutes. I was worried that after a longer game and a couple of weeks of pretty solid minutes for Tarpanay that he might drop down. And I think with Horsburgh, it probably sticks him exactly where he was. So he's one of the best mids you can get. I think is the best mid actually for round 12. So I'm thinking about getting him, and it would have to be for Horsburgh with Toa staying in the side. Mamazelis would leave the side. He'd go to Dylan Lucas this evening, and I'd play him straight up, move Tamale down to wing fullback, and then I'd have Brimson as a trade out as well. Now the question there is, if I don't go Tarpanay, then and I go someone cheaper in that mids, or go for a cheaper wing fullback or centre, then I wouldn't have to get King Tongia, is how I've been told to say it. So thanks for that. Similar to Tongia. There you go. So thanks for that in the comments. But there's a few different options there if I didn't want to bring Lycan in and wanted to go like, Kalen Ponga or something fun like that, then that could be cool as well. But that's probably where I'm at. Mamazelis, Horsburgh, and Brimson are to come out this week. And then, looking into next week, I just have Isaiah Yeo, and I would have Cleary out. If I trade one of them, let's just say I trade Isaiah out and just use the one trade, like I'm sitting there with a looper in Cleary, which is cool. And if anyone else gets injured or suspended this week. And I think it is going to be important to have that one looper, because if I do make the 3 trades this week, I'll end up with a pretty strong squad. With these guys being the X factors each week, Smith, Yongi, and Katonga, as to how they go, and determining if we take them or not. So that's where having at least that one looper could be important, and even holding Yo next week wouldn't be the worst if you looped early. Let's just check out next week while we're here. Yes, the Eels play the first game again next week. So if we look to loop those guys next week again, and then just decide with Isaiah Yeo and with Cleary, like if these guys go 50s again, then it might be worth holding a couple of them so that you can get that, get those scores. And Stafford Toa probably back next week, but if he wasn't to be, then have another looper in there, and maybe I could sell Yo. So just another couple of things for you guys to think about, I reckon, heading into every week, is just having that little bit of a strategy. It shouldn't take too long to come up with that little strat. And yes, you react to what comes your way each and every week, but you can have a little bit of a plan. And I'm seeing people buy planning plenty, and I think it's great. You can also this year get away with not as much, like planning for the major buys. I think looking at the sort of 12 and 15 right now is pretty cool to do. 18's very far away, and a lot changes, and a lot of trades are made. So just be aware of that as well. Coming into these weeks. So that's the little update on my side. I'll decide on those trades a little bit later. I think for this afternoon, with the Knights playing the Titans, I'm going to lock in Mamazellus to Lucas, play him in the center position, and then I'll make the next trades from there. Pete's going to be locked out anyway come the second game, so I'll just lock that one in now and then decide on the rest a little bit later. Now, getting into that game, we had some really good scores from Farnworth and Isaiah Katoa. They both played awesome, especially Farnworth early. A couple of those runs, he's just putting people on their back. That one with Penasini, I think, thank goodness he was okay. He had a pretty good game once he come back on. And Addo-Carr's annoying me at the moment. That's three weeks in a row now. He's playing awesome footy. I forgot to mention him in the buys video this week, but I was like, oh, he's done really well. 58 and 68, and he looks so much better, running freely. They're giving him early ball as well. 58, 68, and 59. And, a couple of weeks ago, he was 421K, up into 491. It'll be like 540, 550 after this. So a bit too expensive now, but heading into this week, he was a very fun pick that sorry guys, I did forget to mention, because I was noticed, like, he scored doubles back to back, and then comes out in this one and has an absolute beauty. 240 meters, 9 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks. So cracking work from him. But Farnworth and Katoa, Isaiah averaging 56.5, an absolutely terrific half to have in your side. There's not a lot of people that do own, especially in the top ranks, but him at 7.3%, averaging that, just to me, it just feels like he scores across the board, and picked up the 2 turnover tackles, which added to his score. But the odd offload, the odd couple of tackle breaks, running the footy, like kicking for, getting 49 points in tackles and in kick meters is just a dream. It's very, very easy to watch, and the addition that he has over Fogarty is the meters gained. What he doesn't have to Fogarty is the goal kicking. So similar in that way, but just Katoa is an easier watch if the team's not putting on a lot of points, because you don't have to worry about the goal kicking. For him to get 70 without an assist or a try means that he's a great pick for your round 12 sides. Farnworth with the 70 as well, picked up that try assist early, 26 tackles for 3 misses, had that try saving tackle, 6, 7, 8 meters out, so you don't get the actual try saver in fantasy, but for his team, it was absolutely massive there. And then that long range try, that was impressive. Get through Moses and Smith, and like 2 of the, not the biggest guys or the best defenders, but an awesome run that was. Cody 59 was a good effort, but Kidione Katonga, as I said at the start, like for him to go into contact and be able to drop off out the back, I think on the right side for the second one, on the left side for the one that Yongi almost went through, but a great cover tackle. And what a shout out Avrilo on the other side. He was very good defensively, making a lot of one-on-one tackles on that left-hand side. But Katonga, this was the game that we started to see, to be honest, for a few weeks there, and then I bought him, and he started to fall off a cliff with that 18 and then the 35 last week. So very glad to at least have an improved game there and go back to that close to that 57 that he picked up 3 weeks ago now. So the offloads were awesome. He actually ran the footy pretty hard. They gave him the footy a lot more, which was great. And even on that last tackle, giving it to him. So I'm glad he came up with the offload and line break assist and not the error there in that one. But 39 tackles, 3 misses, would take that every day of the week, and the couple of line break assists as well. So looks like he can be a hold for now, and hopefully if he continues to play somewhat like this, we can see him as a guy that we can play comfortably enough in center or edge, depending on where all your guys are. Now Hammer 54 with that lovely try saver at the end. Congrats to him. on, a good game there without, I think that one where Isaiah Katoa had that awesome little fake back to the inside to Hammer, and then the big turn and drops it out the back for that first try. Spectacular, but Hammer was in there on the inside, and that's, the pull that he has to be able to give Isaiah Katoa and the playmakers some space in other areas. So shout out to him on that one. He'll be awesome in Origin again. But Yongi there with 53, and he bombed that try as well. So very glad that he could end up scoring pretty well. And who knows what would have happened the rest of the game if he did score that try. And that's where the hindsight is tough, unless it's a clear sort of 20-point play where you get the line break and everything like that. It was a 9-point play basically with the run. Well, let's say 11. Take away that error as well. So he might have ended up on the same score anyway. So we take it. It's a good game for him. Ran the footy well. The kick defusals were awesome. He was really good under the high ball. Still did have the 3 errors, had the 1 missed tackle, but the line break and the 2 try assists was awesome. And shout out to Katonga for dropping it off to him a couple of times to get some tackle breaks. And is now, after the 53, a clear hold. He'll make some cash. So to have 3 guys like that in my team, very, very happy. 449k, 418, and 390. Those guys will all make cash this week, which is awesome. If we can keep that rolling, and they're 3 guys that probably aren't going to be in our side past round 15 when they do have their next bye. So that's awesome and exactly what we wanted out of them. As holds, Yongi as well could potentially be a play in round 12. I think once I make the Lucas trade, I'll have 1 extra for that week. So it'll be interesting to see who we decide and how that one plays out. Now Riley Smith, 52 with 58 tackles, 5 misses, did kick a few times and had a absolutely shocking chip kick, and then a pretty good long kick where he was looking for the 40-20, but it got some good meters and turned Hammer around. So for Riley Smith in this game to play the full 80, they had Sam Rani come on fairly early for Penasini. Actually played the full game after that, so that was very impressive, and he played basically in the back row outside of that that 15-minute period with Penasini. So I thought he was really good. 160 meters for him, 23 tackles. It won't happen regularly, but you had Charlie Geimer and he played the 40-odd on that right-hand side, and thankfully with Katonga being on the left, it didn't hurt him too much in this game there with not too many opportunities on that right-hand side anyway. But Riley Smith, awesome for round 12, as what I mentioned this week. He was the hooker solution this week, and I hope he did jump on. Jazz Savanga probably comes out and gets a 60 and makes him the better pick at the slightly cheaper price. But I just thought Riley had the safety, tackled his butt off, just chases the play, which is great to watch on that front. He does miss a few tackles, but if you're making in the 50s and missing 5, it's a 48. That's a 48-point net gain, which is absolutely awesome for that price point. And back-to-back 50s means he goes up a lovely 50 or so thousand this week, and might be hard to buy next week. And people are talking about Joey Lussick, but Riley, his passing as well, like he's hard work in defense, but his passing out of dummy half is awesome. And if they've got someone that can cover 10 minutes or so if he's a bit too gassed, then sweet. And we do have to worry about that with the back-to-back 58, 57 tackles. We'll think about it, but hopefully he can just keep going for a while. And it's 4 more games now, 11, 12, 13, 14 to get to their bye, and then I think they have 2 byes in 4 weeks or something. So if he can get to that, that's all we need him for as owners of him. Dylan Brown, a couple of good plays there to get to his 51. The good little in and away to get by Hammer, but he just mowed him down so quickly. Junior Paulo there with 64 minutes, and Hopgood's still playing 41. It's just wild. As much as I love Junior, he should be like in the 50s and just have Hopgood in the 50s too. Feels pretty simple. Although Hopgood, when he was out there, he just looked okay this week. Other weeks it's like he just looks great. Like, why are you not playing him? He didn't stand out in this one, I should say, for Hopgood. Ray Stone played edge in this one, which was interesting. Probably see a change when Plath comes back, but we're seeing Lemuelu come off the bench and do a pretty good job, and Gilbert likely goes to Origin, and so maybe Stone continues that in that spot, but it'd be hard to pick him up. Simonson with 44, he looked really good running the footy again, 7 tackle breaks, got that try as well. Mitch Moses 42, so 6 missed tackles hurt him a little bit in this one, and no clear attacking stats. Good good kick meters, but less running of the footy than you'd hoped. They looked fairly sharp, but they still can't finish the job, and errors and all the rest hurts them as well. Big Finn, 42 for him, averaging 38 for the season, so a bit of a season for him, up 74k overall. Gilbert, 39 if you're holding on to him, not the worst score, not the best, so just fine. Walker, lovely try assist there. He's important to this side. Isako, 37 with just a line break. That was a pretty strong play, easy line break. He should have looked left and passed a hammer, but we'll let him off the hook for that one. They got the win, and he kicked well, goal kicking. Hopgood, 40 minutes in the end. Did have that one penalty, and it was just solid. So poor fella, he's gonna be so cheap now. There's gonna be a point where they have some injuries, or they decide to play him good minutes, and let's just wait for that. Maybe in the back end of the year, he could be 550k and a really good option for us there. Moving down the line, Dury with his try, 28 in 16. Lem with his try as well, 28 and 29. Donahue, 26, so he hasn't really kicked on like we would have hoped. Penasini, the 23 there. Guymer the same. And Moretti, good work off the bench for him. So, but I thought Bostock played well also. But there's just a few guys there that are of interest, and thankfully they all scored well. Farnworth, Katoa, Adokar, unfortunately. Katonga, Yongi, Smith, that are all fairly relevant that did a good job. So we'll leave it there, guys, on this one. Please do make sure you check out TikTok and the Instagram as well, Fantasy Jamie. I mentioned there the 4-week health and fitness challenge that I am running. It's going to start on Sunday. So I've got 7 people in right now, which is absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to kick it off, lose some weight, get in good shape there, and help other guys do it as well. So if you are interested in the first iteration of this, if it goes well and people get results, then maybe we'll do one later in the year as well. But big ups to everyone who's in that, who has joined the private group as well, and has joined the public Facebook group. So everything you need to know down there is in the description, or DM me or email me with the information down there as well. Thanks for this one, guys. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy your Friday night games. We'll see you after that.